to one of the running back situations that we've been keeping an eye on with the Rams. So we know they had the big trade this week, acquiring Sony Michel from the Patriots, and everybody panicked about Darrell Henderson. What's going to be with Henderson's role? Who's going to be the best running back for the Rams? Well, here's what Sean Payton had to say. I'm giving you bits and pieces of his quote. He said, Darrell Henderson is, quote, still going to have a very big role. And McVay stated that the Rams trade for Sony Michel, quote, doesn't really change the outlook for Henderson. So, Heath, how are you approaching the Rams' backfield? Is Henderson still one? How high are you ranking Michel? Which one would you rather have based on cost?
Yeah, it's Henderson still one for me. And the debate that I really have with Henderson right now is he better than Chase Edmonds? Is he better than Raheem Mostert? And that's the range. Is he better than the Broncos? I think he's pretty clearly behind the Mike Davis, Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders group there. I would put him ahead of Kareem Hunt. But he's right in that range, either at number 24 all the way down to 28. He's still quite a ways ahead of Sony Michel for me. I mostly believe Sean McVay. I think the reason they went and got Sony Michel is because they didn't have any reason to have faith that Darrell Henderson would make it through 17 games without an injury. He can't make it through 17 practices before the season starts without an injury. So I do think Michel is one of the better handcuff type backs, and he'll have some role, maybe a goal line role, which would really hurt Henderson when Henderson's healthy. But if you draft Sony Michel, you're really hoping that you can hold him on your roster until something happens to Darrell Henderson. That's not going to happen before round 10 for me.
But the problem is that something could happen to Henderson while Henderson's healthy, where he's just not effective on the field. And we've seen these coaches turn on Henderson in season before, and then he gets hurt again in this year's training camp. And what's their knee-jerk reaction? To move on from 2 draft picks to get Sony Michel. And I know it sounds weird to say I like Sony Michel, but I like Sony Michel. And you're going to be able to get him in round 9 or so, maybe round 9, round 10. I don't think he's that far off from Darrell Henderson. I'm dead serious. I think he can end up being an amazing value that you can start with him on your bench. Maybe he turns into a starting fantasy running back, exactly the type of running back that I'm looking for in the back half of fantasy drafts.
I guess the one thing would be is this really more of an indication or an indictment on Henderson, or is it more of an indictment on Xavier Jones and Jake Funk making this move? So yes, they did move on from Henderson last year, who had a hard time staying healthy his rookie season, but they had a high-profile rookie on their team last year to turn to in Cam Akers. True. I don't think Cam Akers and what he meant to the Rams last year is the same as what Sony Michel might mean to them this year. And for them, draft picks, it's like throwing paper away. They don't really care about what they do with their drafts, at least based on what they've shown us so far. So Les Snead, not afraid to move, spend a draft pick to get a veteran player. So I do think they should be probably a little bit closer. I'm still bullish on Henderson as well. I think we all like Henderson better than Sony Michel. But if you do want a piece of this Rams backfield, I think he's going to probably end up going in the round 8 range. I think people just get a little overexcited about maybe new player going to a new team, getting an opportunity. Henderson banged up. They're going to see Sony Michel's ADP probably skyrocket a little bit, even ahead of that round 9, round 10 range. But so far, we're going to say, based on Sean McVay and what he's saying, still draft Darrell Henderson first. Round 5 is probably the sweet spot to start to look for him as the starting running back for the Rams. Want more of the Fantasy Football Today podcast and nonstop year-round fantasy advice? It's simple. Hit the subscribe button and hang with us all throughout the year.